Today on To The Point, I'm very excited because I'm actually getting half of Team Tall.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Welcome on in To The Point with Kristyn Burtt. And like I said, half of Team Tall. My dream is to have 100%, but I've got 50%, and that is good enough, more than good enough. Jasmine Harper, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Now, how many times do I go up to you and go, "You're my favorite dancer"? All the time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is it awkward? Does it make you uncomfortable?
No, it's great. I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support. It means so much. So thank you.
I told everyone, I'm going to fangirl for like an hour. So everyone just be warned that if I'm gushing, it's because I love her and I love your dancing. And
thank you so much.
I've been on board since season 10. So
thank you. And that's like 6 years ago or something.
Yes.
That is crazy. It feels like last week. But
does it really?
I think so. I think that's such just an amazing time in my life that I will never forget, and it just always, every time I go back to CBS and I have to perform, I get that feeling like the first time I stepped in there. So yeah, it doesn't feel like 6 years. That's pretty crazy to me.
It's unbelievable. And I went back and I watched your audition package going into Green Mile, and it's wild. And I totally forgot that you had gotten a job offer from Sierra.
Yeah, yep. It was to go on tour with her. So I just did my first music video with her, the I'm Out music video. And then she was going on a tour after that. And it was like either, have a solidified tour job or try my luck with So You Think. I didn't know. I think I made it through the audition process, but I was at they had like Green Mile back then. Right. And I was at that point and I didn't know if I made it on or not. So I was like, I'm going to go and see if I made it on the show.
What made you decide? That's a big decision at a young age.
It is. Well, I feel like just going with my gut, and I can't say I had nothing to lose because obviously I had a whole tour to lose, right. But I don't regret it at all. It was, it obviously changed my life forever. So yeah, just taking a leap of faith and believing that I was doing the right thing.
It turned out pretty great, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny, too, is Team Tall versus Team Small.
Yes.
It really was the perfect top 4, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't have had the outcome or just the people that I was dancing with any other way. It was so amazing, and just being able to, experience that whole journey with Aaron the whole time was so special to me because it had to be hard to get new partners each week and things like that. So, I don't know. I was really lucky to have Aaron as a partner, and then being with Amy in Fiction. They're so amazing. So, yeah, it was a pretty cool top 4.
Yeah, and everyone's still out there, working.
I'm sorry, but season 10 is pretty great if you ask me. Like, if you look on each one of our social medias or, just see what we're doing nowadays, everyone is still working and still just following their dreams, which is so great to me. So shout out to season 10.
It really is. I wonder if I should ask Jeff, because I have an interview with Jeff coming up, you guys. So yeah, he'll be back. Fun. Actually, it's a return.
Nice.
But I think what's interesting too, I wonder if he looks back at the magic of season 10 and what they put together as the judges. And
I mean, I think I don't know, I feel like we just kind of speak for ourselves. Like, every single person is doing so well, and I always love when we're back as all-stars and we have like 3 or 4 back, and then
Paul's there and Jenna's there.
Yes, it's all
Fiction's
there. Like, it's so awesome to just always have that reunion, and again, just to see what everyone's doing, and we're all on our own paths, but I think we are all where we're supposed to be. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing to me when I asked for fan questions. I put the call out, and I thought we were going to get a lot of Beyoncé questions. I thought that was going to be the number one. Team Tall was
that's awesome. Good.
Yeah, everyone, there was a big concern. They want to make sure that you're still in touch with Aaron.
Yeah, I speak to him mostly on like the bigger occasions, his birthdays or holidays or things like that, or when we just cross each other's minds. We don't talk every day, but I think there will never be another person that knows what we went through at that time, and all the struggles and all the everything that we had to go through. So we'll always have that special connection and always be able to be like, reach out to him and be like, remember that one time? And I don't know. So I just we don't speak all the time, but we will always be Team Tall forever. Like
Forever,
yes.
You guys will be 85 and be Team Tall.
Team Tall, yeah.
Team Tall.
Yes, exactly.
Remember what we accomplished.
Remember that quick step and that, what was it, a samba or salsa? And
You guys did great, though.
Thank you.
You know, and I thought was interesting going back and watching your package. There were certain segments they were showing a lack of confidence, and I was like, really?
In the audition?
Moving in on your way into Green Mile.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They showed a lot of tears.
I was young, and
I don't remember that.
I honestly don't remember. Okay, so that's one part of the show that kind of is all a blur to me, because you are there and you're just like, I'm just trying to get on the show. Like, everything's a blur. Everything matters so much, you know, like, it's just magnified times 1,000, every single little thing. But there probably was. I was really young. I think I was 18 or 19, and I'm 26 now. So I've done a lot of growing since then, and, you know, as a person, and I did a lot of growing on the show.
I remember he was really confident on the show. So when I went back and saw the Green Mile stuff, I was like, I don't remember that.
It's interesting because I think my dancing is a little, or was a little different than, you know, my actual personality. When I dance, that's my moment to express myself, and I don't have any cares in the world up there on the stage. So that may have been what it was. But yeah, and also I was just young. So I think, you know, as a teenager, I was just...
We're emotional.
Exactly.
I'm still emotional. I haven't gotten there.
Emotional, so
I haven't grown out of it.
Yeah.
Well, something we were talking about before the show, and I thought was really interesting. You were talking about the mental health, keeping yourself really in a good place.
Yes, that is super important on the show, because I think more or just as much as being physically strenuous on your body, like, it is mentally a lot on the show. It's an emotional roller coaster because, you know, you're good enough, then you're not good enough. And these are all things that you're just telling yourself. You know, nobody's telling you these things. It is such a positive atmosphere, but you're just beating yourself up, and then you're doing great, and then, like, it's just such an emotional roller coaster. So I feel like being mentally stable and mentally strong is such an important thing on the show. And for me, I know I was just trying to get through the weeks. Like, I was literally like, I don't care, not that I don't care about top 2 or top 4 or whatever, but I was just like, I need to make it through this week, and then I need to make it through this week, and then the next, and that's how I was looking at it. So I think that helped me in the long run, just like being like, okay, this is my routine that I need to get through this week. Great, that's over. I can't think about what happened, what didn't happen with that, on to the next. And that's, you know, that was my approach towards it, and I think it went pretty well.
It went great.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. Were there things like off the show? I know when we had Hannah Lane here last year, she was like, I would talk to my dance teacher every night. I would journal. Did you do anything off the show just to keep your brain like peaceful?
Let me think.
Go back 6 years ago.
I don't remember being in like a strict routine. I just remember dancing so much that I didn't have time to do anything else. Like, just, I guess focus was my biggest thing, and just trying to stay focused and leaving kind of the whole outside world and literally just focusing on this. And like I said, watching my routines over again. Me and Aaron would meet in the street and practice our quick step because there wasn't enough room to practice in the hotel room. Like, it was just focus on the show. So I think that was my biggest thing. Just
it's good though.
Focus, yeah. And
sometimes if you let your brain think too much, it goes in weird places, and then you're like, why am I doing this?
Exactly. So I was just like, you know, whatever happens, and just trying to enjoy it while I was there and take away from it what I could, which is easier said than done while you're in it. I look back and I was like, why was I stressed over some of the things I was stressed over? And I look back at some routines, I'm like, I could have did that so much better, but, you know, it was...
You did what you could at the time.
Exactly. So I don't regret any bit of it, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that experience.
Your favorite routine, is there one still in your brain that you were like...
I always say my favorite routine was my first one, Bottom of the River by Sonia, and that was with me and Aaron. I loved that one. I don't know why, I just really did, and I loved working with her so much.
I love Sonia.
Yeah, she's
killing it on Broadway, by the way, in Moulin Rouge.
I know, that's so amazing.
Can't get a ticket to it, guys, like for like another year.
That's awesome. I love that music, or that Broadway show. I need to go see that. But yeah, so I love that one, and then I love Blurred Lines. I love Run the World. That was a cool one. I see Gold Rush. That was a cool one.
So many. And Baby, yeah, that was your promo photo right
Yes,
there with
that
your
was.
leg up in the air.
Yeah.
We talked briefly about Blurred Lines, you and I, because I said, oh gosh, I really love that one. Ray Leeper, and you were saying it wasn't that easy.
It was not. It was such a fun routine, and I really enjoy doing it once I'm done doing it. But it was tough. We start in a hinge position, like super low plie, and so...
And you're really tall, too.
Yes, exactly. So it was just physically hard, but I mean, that's Ray Leeper. It's a challenge, and I was dancing with Marco, which is so amazing, and that was my first All-Star, so shout out to Marco.
We love Marco.
Yeah, he's awesome, and so yeah, that was a tough routine, but it was so much fun, and I'm glad I was able to get through it.
You got through it. More than through
Barely,
it.
but...
It is interesting to me always what stands out in my brain and what routines I always remember from season to season.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the Comfort, Run the World.
Yeah,
Emmy Award winning from Nappy Tabs.
That was awesome.
Putting on the Ritz, also a part of their Emmy Award winning.
Yes. Putting on the Ritz was so cool because that was all one shot. So that was a pretty unique one. And that was the first time we all got to dance together. We don't really know each other yet. We're just getting to know each other, so that was a cool routine. Putting on the Ritz was cool. What else did we do that season?
I know, it's so hard to go back and remember unless it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, it is. And there's some I see, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that routine, but it was really cool.
You're like, I did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I did it. I made it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
We get a lot of questions from fans about whether So You Think helps you out there in the professional world. Do you think it's a springboard? Because some people will say no, and other people will say a definitive yes.
I think yes, absolutely, because I feel like, and this is something I felt ever since, the very last episode, if you can get through that show, you can get through anything in life, I feel like, because it is, again, so physically just straining, and then, like I said, mentally straining. So I think if you can get through that and make it to the end, or make it even through 1 week, I feel like it can set you up for so many other things. And just if you go back to that and say, well, when I was feeling this low on So You Think You Dance, or this high, or whatever you were feeling, and my body was aching this much and my limbs were off, like, you can get through any other job. Yeah, you really can. And every time I go back, I'm like, there's no show tour or whatever other shows I'm doing, I am not dancing as much as I am on that show. So
it's true.
I think absolutely yes.
It's like one big dance camp, honestly.
It really is, and yeah, it is. I'm just thinking, I should probably get in shape.
No, what are you talking about?
It is, but there's nothing else like it. There really is nothing else like it. So I think it prepares you for life.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When you get off tour, and I think that this is always the hardest transition, you get off tour from So You Think You Can Dance, where you guys are rock stars, everyone's excited to see you, and then you're like, oh, what's next? What was that transition like?
Okay, so I think for me, and again, I'm trying to go back, it was a while ago. I feel like just hopping back into where you were in before the show, like you still have to go audition, and you're gonna walk in and they're gonna be like, either this is her from So You Think, or like, oh, this is her from So You Think, let me see what you can do. Like, so there's always that pressure with having that name under your belt, but you are back at square one, I think, because yeah, it can go either way,
Right, you're back in the auditioning with everybody else in town.
Exactly, and sometimes, you can get direct books from it, but not all the time. So you just have to, like, bring yourself down and say, okay, well, I need to audition. I need to still build these connections and, all that kind of thing. So it's just, yeah.
Well, you're pretty humble, and I'm going to brag for you, but you are one of the dancers who's come out of the show who works consistently.
Yeah, I try.
Yes, you do. You should pat yourself on the back for that, because that's really incredible. And it's not just Beyonce. I mean, we've seen you work with so many other different artists. I feel like every time I turn around, I'm like, she's on Billboard, she's through Grammys. Oh, wait, she's over here. So it's incredible. And you have to give yourself some credit for the hard work that you've put in, obviously.
I try, and it is hard out here, man. I mean, it just being an artist in general out here is tough because you have to consistently build these relationships and consistently kind of be in these people's faces, or they'll forget about you, especially being away on a tour. That's a tough thing to, and I, not even just So You Think, but any tour, like, it's tough to come out of that transition because it's like, oh, I'm sure they're on tour right now, or I'm sure they're working or busy or something, but it's like, no, I actually need a job right now. Like,
yeah, how do you when you get back off tour, do you call everyone and just go, hey, I'm in town?
You know, I should probably start doing that because it always is a little slow for me. But I try to just, I guess I pray and I'm like, hopefully
a job comes your way.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's tough. You know, you're gone for a whole year. They will forget about you if you're not around and auditioning and stuff like that. So
well, I was joking with you, but I was like, I would like to thank Beyonce for doing the Lion King press tour. That is why I have you here today.
Yeah, she's so awesome, man. I would like to thank Beyonce too for everything.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I was like, for anyone that doesn't know, I saw you at the premiere party for So You Think this season, and I was like, please come in. And you're like, this is my schedule. And I was like, I'm going to give you a date, and every week we're going to check in.
Mm-hmm.
and it happened.
Yes, exactly.
So people, because I get request-wise, you have been at the top of the list for a very long time from people that watch the show. They're like, I really want to hear Jasmine's story. And I'm like, I'm trying. She's away. She's on tour. She's filming. You know.
I'm not even that, but she's busy. You know, she's super busy, and I'm just like a little duckling trying to follow behind her. But I'm here.
You're here.
Yes.
What was the first job that you worked with Beyonce?
The first job.
Do you remember?
Okay. So I think it was the 7-Eleven video, the music video.
Oh wow.
That was my first official job with her. And that was, I'm not sure of the year, maybe 2015 or 14, maybe 15.
Maybe 14, I think.
Yeah, one of those. And 7-Eleven just passed. I just posted that picture. So every 7-Eleven, I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Here it is.
Yeah. So that was my first job with her. And then from there, Tidal happened, and Super Bowl and Lemonade and Formation.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a long list.
It is, yeah.
What is that like the very first time you're working with her? Because she's Beyonce. She is larger than life.
Really
but you're also working with her on an intimate level, so.
I mean, she's amazing. She is as she seems, you know, so sweet and humble, and yeah, she's incredible.
She is exactly what we think she is. I know, because we were all like, this week when she was at the Lion King, everyone was like, there's our Princess Megan.
Yes.
I know she's not a princess. People don't write in. She's a duchess. But I joke. I'm like, she's our princess there with Beyonce. And I feel like the whole red carpet stopped just to watch that interaction, which is incredible.
Presence, to make everyone stop. So.
Yeah, I think for you, when you're working with an artist who creatively is working on another level, how are you as a dancer? I mean, I've got to imagine that this is a job where you have to really be focused. You're not goofing off in the studio.
You have to just always be on your toes. And I feel like whenever we're working with an artist, period, I always like to think, you know, I never have the job until I'm off stage, you know, after whatever we're working for, because it's always an audition. And this is, I don't think just for her, for anyone you're working with, it's always an audition. You can always get cutted, and it's maybe not even personal, but you just always have to make sure you're on top of whatever you're doing to ensure your spot there, because she and whoever, you know, like it's tough.
It is tough. And sometimes, I think the other thing people don't realize, sometimes it is a business decision.
Yeah, for
sometimes
sure.
there's 15 dancers and they're like, we can only fit 10 on the stage.
Exactly. It's never, I don't like to take anything personal when it comes to, you know, what I do for a living, just because you can't, you know what I have to offer, and that's all I can give you. And yeah, you can't take it personal. You just have to.
It's hard not to sometimes,
totally. It totally is, because it's like, I worked so hard to be here, or whatever the case is. But you, as much as possible, just be like, you know, it's okay. This is one door closing, plenty more doors that will open for me, and move on to the next thing. So.
When it comes to working the Super Bowl, I always find that dancers, it's kind of something on their bucket list. What is the Super Bowl like? And how does it compare to Coachella? Because I'm trying to, they're both really big events.
They are. I think for Super Bowl, I mean, you have a whole stadium full and then some, because you have all the viewers at home. So it's like a
globally
larger than life, you know, audience for Super Bowl. And so that was pretty cool, and that was, you know, her first time revealing her song Formation, and so that was just something so special to be a part of. Really, it was really, really cool. And then
what is it like as a performer? Like when the lights go on, does the hair stand up on your arm? Because
I think a little bit, like, you just hear that music going and you're like, we've been rehearsing for this, and we hear the live drums and all that, and it's just it's an indescribable feeling, to be out there. And
did Coachella feel, it's apples and oranges, I know.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, did it feel as big?
It was,
because it felt epic to me.
It felt epic to me too. I couldn't believe I was out there. I think the difference between that is we can come back next week and do it one more time, so it's like, okay, this is great, and we have a high after we're off stage, but it's like, okay, we have one more time to do it again, and then maybe that last show is like, wow, that was pretty incredible. But it is pretty cool that we can kind of do it 2 times and fix what we need to fix, and if there's anything we wanted to change and things like that.
Okay, week 1, week 2. If we had to go back and watch just one, is for you, just your performance.
Me?
Yellow or pink? What week? What do you feel like, as an artist, you were in the moment?
I think for me, it's always best to watch the second time around, just because, like I said, week 1, we're getting all the kinks out. It's our first time actually doing it. We work on everything that we need to change and make sure it's perfect for weekend number 2. So I think for me, week 2.
Week 2. Okay,
yeah.
Good to know. I mean, they're both in Homecoming too.
Both, yeah, so awesome.
So you get to see the blend of that, which congratulations. 6 Emmy Award nominations
that's
today.
Pretty incredible, man. She just keeps raising the bar. Like, she's so awesome.
I know, but you're a part of that.
Yeah,
Without you and everybody else, the cast of
totally.
thousands. But it's a team effort.
Yes.
I mean, obviously the weight of creating everything is of course on her, but it is a team effort. And the fact that you got to be a part of that, and I love that you came in and I was like, 6 Emmy nominations. You're like, I haven't seen everything from So You Think. I'm like, no, Homecoming.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. It was such an amazing experience, and
a thoughtful experience.
Yes, very thoughtful. It took a lot of work that went into it, but it's very well deserving, I believe, for 6 Emmys.
And you were talking, we can't get into details because obviously we all know that Beyoncé likes to keep that private. However, there was a core team of you that kind of worked on it initially, and then it kind of grew from there, right?
So, yeah, exactly that. We have, it starts small and then it just builds and builds and builds. And as you guys saw, there were so many people towards the end. But yeah, we have to kind of figure things out, and then everyone comes in.
And you're just adding the layers of people. We had Kendra Oyesanya on here.
Yeah.
We love Kendra.
She's awesome.
Yes, and she obviously was a part of Homecoming as well, and Coachella. And she just was saying it was just watching it and watching how it developed. I think even though you were in it and part of it, it was overwhelming.
Something different every day, and
epic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep. And then you finally see that outcome. That's why I think Homecoming is so cool. Even to the people that were in it, we were so excited watching it. We had like a viewing party, a few of us that were in it, and it's just so cool. It's like rewatching it for the first time. It's like we didn't know the surprises and all the things that were going to happen, even though we rehearsed it so many times. Like, it's a really cool thing to have been a part of.
Did you guys know, I'm assuming you probably knew because there's probably a contract, because there was the live performance and then there was the Homecoming documentary. So you knew that there were cameras there for like the YouTube, and then there were cameras there for the documentary?
We didn't know. I mean, we're just there rehearsing, so we don't really know specifics of anything.
But something's going on.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, cool, there's a camera, but we're just going to learn these steps. We don't know specifics of anything that's happening, but
did you think that there were a lot of cameras there for Coachella? Because there were some cameras that were for the Netflix special and some there for the live broadcast.
Me personally, I can only speak on what I thought, but I didn't think anything of it really. I was just
so much
doing
going on.
my job. Yeah, exactly. There's so much going on, and there's, if there's a camera, I'm like, okay, cool, just another camera, but then it turned out to be that, which was pretty cool. So
it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Because nobody, I mean, obviously the inner circle of who was involved with it knew what was happening. Yeah. But all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm just going to drop this little thing on Netflix. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah. And you were able to see it on the big screen. I saw it on the big screen as well.
Yeah, it was. And it was mind blowing. And again, I'm going to have to rewatch it. But yeah, so cool to be a part of.
You said you haven't really wrapped your brain around everything you've experienced in the last few years.
I have not. I think it will take like a few years for me to really look back and say, wow, I was a part of that. It's hard when you're like in it and you just want to keep going and keep being a part of it and everything. So it is like tough. I still think it's really, really cool, and I think I'm so grateful for it. I didn't mean to say I'm grateful. I am very grateful for it. Exactly. But yeah, I don't think it hit me how larger than life, what I was a part of. I mean,
it is too, and I think that there are certain eras where there are artists that come out that are bigger than all of us, and changing and pushing and getting us to think in different ways, which is really important, especially in 2019.
Yes.
But we can kind of pinpoint those moments, and I do think. So this is only so far, because this is only so far of what we've seen her do.
Yeah.
But just even like if I take out like the last 5 years of what she's done and like drop it in history books.
Yes, for sure.
That is significant enough.
And she keeps evolving too. That's the most incredible thing, I think. Like,
yeah, and that's where I go, what is like, where does those ideas come from? Where is it churning? You don't know either, huh?
I don't know. Yeah.
I was hoping someone had a little secret.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But it is really cool to just be around, and again, just to be a part of. And I think I'm so grateful for it.
What's the Louvre like in the middle of the night?
Empty and just
peaceful or creepy or all?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of all.
Yeah.
We were there and no one else was. That's pretty cool. Like,
well, the fact that the French government allowed
I know
people to it is unprecedented. I know it's Jay-Z and Beyonce, but that it really is unprecedented.
Yeah.
So I think that but I just want to. I'm like, you're like sneaking around, like, oh, there's the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, kind of just being able to look at so many beautiful artwork and the history of it all, and yeah, it was pretty incredible. And we're just in not much stocking, like it's our house.
Yes.
Nudish stockings.
Flesh tone.
I'm like walking around like, oh, that's cool.
You're like, I know. You're like, I basically have nothing on, and I'm walking around the Louvre at midnight.
Really, really cool. So.
And was it just one night that you were filming there, or a couple nights?
I think we did over 2 nights. Yeah, so cool.
Unbelievable. When I saw that one, like ape shit, I was like, I can watch that one.
It's a beautiful music video.
It's stunning.
It really is, really so beautiful.
And then you wind up on that image of you and I don't know his name.
Slick.
Yeah,
together. Nicholas Stewart, yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
I think so. That's pretty cool.
I mean, come on. Like, I feel like this is a little bit of like, this is your life, but so we have the image up there on the screen. But
yeah,
I mean, sometimes if someone
That's
else,
pretty cool.
I know, I'm laying it out in front of you. I'm like, do you realize what you've done?
That's another thing. Again, I think I'll be like, I mean, again, it's very cool, and it's mind blowing to me. But again, in a few years, I'll be like,
maybe your head will like explode.
Wow.
Going
yes.
And Lemonade. I mean, we haven't even discussed Lemonade too.
Yeah,
that was another one, pushing the envelope, getting people like a dialogue started and everything else. And I think that it's incredible talking with people that have worked on the film. Obviously for you guys too, I've got to imagine that that's kind of a game changer as an artist.
Mm-hmm. It all, I think every project we do with her is a game changer for me, at least, whether it's personal or for the world or whatever it be, like, it's always something so special to be a part of. And
what do you think, let's say today someone asked you, like, what is the one thing you've walked away with from working with her as an artist?
I would say work ethic, because she's such a hard worker. And I mean, it shows. It's not a secret at all. So that's probably my biggest thing.
It's a good one.
You have to
too.
put in the work to produce the material that you want, and so that's, I think, one of the biggest things.
Yeah, because she's not just out there like, I'm just going to throw together an album. There's a lot of thought and creativity and ideas too that I don't know where they're coming from, but they're incredible. They're incredible. She has an album, not an album, but a video dropping
Yeah, I saw on Instagram that there's a video dropping tonight for Lion King, and she also has, I think, an album coming out. Like, it's just incredible. I don't know where she finds the time to do
But we
any
should
of
all
this.
be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Because it'll be out by the time we wake up in the morning, most likely.
Yeah, so it should be pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Yeah, she's
We'll
just
keep our eyes out.
yeah, hard worker.
What's interesting to me too is that in between this, like, you have come back to So You Think You Can Dance. You've come back as an all-star. You came for season 14, of course. Yeah. What is that like? Do you
I've
feel?
actually been going back and forth. Like, it's been weird, but I've been like, I did season 10, then I went on Formation, then I did season, what would be 14 maybe, or another season after that, and
You
then
probably
I
came in for 12 briefly.
12,
or?
yeah, it just keeps going back and
Back
forth.
and
so
forth,
it's
and
been
then
pretty
14,
cool.
yeah.
And then OTR 2, and then, you know.
And maybe, maybe season 16, maybe.
So it's been really cool to just bounce back and forth, and I'm completely happy, doing that.
It's a great little gig.
Yeah.
Little gig, big gig, both of them. Because
Yes.
honestly, everyone that I know that does come back to So You Think, they feel like it's home. They love being
Definitely,
there.
yes.
You don't have the
all
pressure of being
family.
judged. You're all family.
Yeah.
There's something really special about the atmosphere. What was it like coming in season 14? And Robert, I just did an article about Robert, and I
awesome.
was like, first out means nothing, guys, because
Absolutely nothing.
first of all, he was already a superstar.
Yes.
But he continues to be a superstar.
Oh, of course. And that was just, I think, from speaking with him, one of the things that he just wanted to check off his bucket list. Like you said, he was already touring with Taylor Swift, and his choreography is amazing, viral videos, all of that. So he, this was just another stepping stool from him, or for him. But it does not mean anything that he was the first to leave. He's such an incredible talent in person, and I was honored to be his partner.
What made you choose him? What was the thing that you're like,
He's
this
so
is who I want?
amazing. Just, I don't know, when I watch him dance, I just get excited. No matter what the style was, like, it could have been a contemporary dance, a jazz routine, of course, hip hop. I just get excited every time I see him dance. And so I was like, I want to dance next to him. And surprisingly, when I asked him to be on my team, nobody else asked, which I was like, okay, you guys are crazy, but I'll take him.
He's mine.
Yes. So I got really lucky with having Robert as a partner.
Did you know him before? I know sometimes people know each other through the dance industry.
Him in North Carolina a long time ago, but
wow.
It was before, like, it was a long time ago. And since then I hadn't really, like, known him or
Worked with him
yeah,
again.
anything. So that was, like, my first time actually seeing him again, and it was a great first time.
Well, I loved season 14. I thought the All-Stars did a great job of picking
Yes.
talent. They also did a good job in season 13 with all the kids. I know people didn't love the format, but all those kids
And
are
that's
working.
tough to, pick the person that you want to not only dance with, but you have to, like, have a chemistry with them and share every week with them. And so that's a tough job to pick a dancer, like pick a partner, a life partner. It's like picking a marriage almost,
It's a dance marriage.
Yeah, it really is. So it's
what do you
tough
always
job.
want to give your contestants when you're an all-star? Because Jeff is very particular about who's an all-star because he wants them to offer mentorship and guidance.
Yeah. I think I just want them to know that it's not the end all be all, Like, this show is an amazing, like, take something away from it. If you leave tomorrow, just take something away from your experience thus far. If you leave during Academy Week, take something away from that, because there's so much to offer. The show has, like, so much positivity and so many, like, little gems to offer. So just take that away from it. That's my biggest thing. And then, of course, like, if I can learn something dance-wise from them and they can learn something from me, then that's pretty cool too. But I think, again, going back to, like, just the mental state of where you are during the show, that's probably the biggest thing.
I love that. And what was it like going on tour season 14?
Yeah.
Because we had Frody in last week, Lauren Froderman,
Yes.
and she was talking about, she's like,
She
I just
went
felt
on
like
tour,
a
yeah.
mom for season 15.
It could be a little bit of mom and dad. I was with Marco. It was cool. It's interesting because it's like, we did this, we went on tour for our season, Marco went on tour for his season, so it is a little like we're reliving a dream. But it's different.
It feels different, doesn't it? Because it's not your season.
It's not your season. You're just, filling in for different dances and stuff like that. So
you got to do the cane dance.
Yes, I did. And I watched Kiki do the cane toss in that dance. So I did a little acting, and I was like, oh, yeah, go for it. While he tossed the cane. So that was a cool little all-star thing that I did. No, I didn't have to toss the cane. But yeah, so it was different. But the season we were able to go on with was just, they were all so cool, and I had a great time.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's always interesting though when you're like, okay, they're all experiencing this for the first time.
And you've been on. Yeah. So that's the, I think, biggest difference of everything. Like, you want to make sure they're having a nice experience because it is their first time. We're like, okay, we know this is going to happen. We know how this works and things like that. So.
I saw the tour when it was at the Dolby Theater, obviously, and I thought it was very clean. Not all tours when you're at the end of you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But this one, because I think by the time you guys got there, it was like November or something to Los Angeles.
I think one of the last cities.
Yeah, and it looked good. So
nice.
Kudos to you. I always like to
Marco,
shout out.
He's awesome.
Good dance captain.
Yes.
I like to shout out those tours. Derek Huff's tour also at the end of the tour. Very clean. I appreciated that because you're tired. Your bodies are tired.
Definitely.
You're sleeping on a bus. It's not easy.
It's a lot of work, but.
We had some fan questions, and I want to make sure I get to them because there were some really fun ones. Let me just start out. All right. Oh, Damien wanted to ask about your solo at Coachella.
Yes.
Your duet.
Yes.
How did that sort of come about? Because obviously being offered a little showcase moment is exciting.
Yeah. So Havoc, which actually auditioned for season 14, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he is such an incredible dancer. Like, he's really probably one of the best freestylers that I've seen. He's so incredible. So it was such an honor dancing with him. I think they just thought that our styles would mesh well together. He is a flexor. He's from Brooklyn.
I love that.
Yeah. So it was cool because, you wouldn't think a flexor and, a contemporary dancer would mesh well, but we were actually freestyling. So the two different weekends should be different. They will be different if you go back and watch them. Because awesome. We were freestyling, and we freestyled every time we rehearsed. And we were just kind of vibing off of each other. So that's
amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was definitely not.
Oh, I'm going back to watch now. I'm going to be like,
yeah, we were freestyling, so it was so cool dancing with him.
I love that. I love hearing like little moments like that because you don't get that insight otherwise unless you studied it. And some of you may have studied it from start to finish both weekends because it was that incredible a performance. Team Tall, we always have Team Tall questions. Yeah. Okay, Kelly asked about if you guys maintain a close relationship. We did talk about that, but Tracy wanted Aaron to call in. He's not calling in today, but as I said, my dream is to have both of you here one day.
I'm down.
Okay, great.
Aaron, come on.
Trying to get everyone in the same state at the same time is going to be hard.
We should do a season 10, as many season 10ers as we can. That'd be cool.
Oh, like we could just squeeze them all on the couch. Well, let's see. Cool. We could have 1.
Yeah, we can.
2, 3,
I don't mind standing.
4, 5, 6, 7. We can at least have 7 at least. I think we could squeeze it. I don't know. It would be so funny. Let's see. Who else would you like to work with creatively? This is from Tracy.
Who would I like to work with? Honestly, I'm open to working with whoever wants to work with me. Like, I really am, because I can take something away from every single person that I work with, I feel like. So, yeah, I'm open. If you want to work with me, just hit me up. Like I said, after tour, it's pretty slow, so.
We're putting the call out.
Yes.
Yeah, Tracy also wanted to know, are you still in dance class? I know you were just saying, I want to get back into shape, but what is that like on off times?
I don't take class as much as I probably should. If I do take class, I actually like to take ballet classes. That's my first love. Mm-hmm. I really love ballet. So those are more of the classes that I take. I should probably be taking styles like hip hop and other things.
Right.
But I have not been recently. I do want to get more into teaching though. I'm about to go to Charlotte and teach a few classes there. So I do want to get into teaching more, and I think I've always been kind of, I guess, I've been second guessing my choreography and just, I'm teaching, but I think I'm getting more comfortable with that. So
That's great.
Yeah, I want to start teaching more.
It's hard to put yourself out there, I think, because choreography is so personal.
Yeah, it really is. I do one move and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. But I mean, I'm sure it's fine. It's a tough thing.
And I think also, too, with choreography, you have to develop a voice and what your choreography is saying, what your style is.
So they know when they see it that that's your choreography, and that's a hard thing to do.
It is.
Yeah, so...
And it takes time to develop, so I think you just have to be patient with yourself, too.
Yeah.
But you got to have some good legs in there.
Yes, I'll try to
get
those in where I can.
Please do. And one more from Tracy, just because I love this question. Has your height helped or hindered your career?
I honestly don't think that I'm that tall. It's interesting because when people see me, I think, especially if they watch the show, I don't know if it's the camera angles or what, but they think I'm like
6 feet.
Yes, they really do. And I also have long limbs. So I think that's one of
long
the
leg, shorter torso, right?
Yes, and long arms. So I'm like, maybe that's what it is. But people are like, oh my gosh, you're just kind of average size.
Are you like 5'6"?
Yeah, 5'6", 5'7", maybe.
5'7",
I say
okay.
5'7". But I don't think it's helped or hindered. I think, I obviously can't work with the super short artists. But I've been able to work with some really cool artists because of my height. So
and Team Tall, it just makes me think you're
and I think
tall.
we came up with that name because Amy and Fiction are
but they were
petite.
Petite. Exactly. They were Team Small and Team Tall. It worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it did. So I don't think it helped or hindered. But
you're actually a good height for dance.
It's just, I think, pretty average height.
I mean, if you wanted to be a Rockette, you could go off and do that.
Yeah, possibly.
You're in the height. They have a height range, so
okay.
you're right in that height range.
I'd probably be on the shorter side.
5'6.5" is the lower side of it.
I did this show when it was like right after So You Think You Can Dance tour. I did this show called Jubilee in Vegas for some time. Excuse me. And I was so short compared to some of those showgirls. Like, I was really tiny compared to them. They were so tall. So I feel like I'm just like that average height,
Yeah.
Not too tall.
What was it like working in Vegas? How long did you work there?
I worked there. I was kind of just standing in for this one part that they had, Samson and Delilah. And Frank Gatson at the time was directing and creative directing that show. So I was doing that with him, and it was, Vegas isn't really my city. Because we were right on the Strip. I heard that off the Strip is like really nice and calm and
easier to live day to day.
But I was right on the Strip, so lots of gambling and money and cigarettes and
going through the casino. I've got to imagine as a dancer, tough. Just because you have to go to the casino to get anywhere.
A lot of sinus. Problems
and it's tough to breathe. And I the second I walk into cigarette smoke, my whole sinuses just clog up and I can't breathe.
Yeah, so that wasn't that fun. But again, I try to just take something away from every single experience and every job that I do. So it was cool.
Learning to breathe in tough conditions. Also in the desert, staying hydrated is not easy.
It's not at all. So yeah, it was a memory. That I'll have forever.
You're like, I got it.
Yeah.
In terms of like dream project for you personally, is there something that like maybe do a dance movie or Broadway?
Okay, well, I'm not just saying this because you just said these, but dance movie would be really cool. I haven't done much acting, but I think that if I really focused on it, I could maybe try and do it. So I'm open to doing a dance movie. I think that would be so cool.
You need that on your list.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And then also Broadway. Okay, so I haven't really been to New York at all, and I feel like there's so many different types of opportunities out there. This is more commercial and TV and stuff like that. But I would love to try Broadway. That would be so cool to me.
You'd be really
and even
good.
If it's just the dancing, like you don't have to give me lines, you don't have to
do you sing?
I can hold a note.
If you can hold a note, that's all they need.
Yeah, so I would be totally open to trying Broadway. That's why I was like geeking out about Moulin Rouge, because that's such a cool, like Chicago, Moulin Rouge, all of those kinds of
Spencer Liff is doing a lot on Broadway these days.
He is. So that's so cool to me. So I'd be open to those two. What else? I think those are my biggest ones that I just have not touched on.
Yeah, I think you should give
cool.
Sonia Taya a call.
That would be cool.
Just send her a little email or slide into her DMs.
That would be so cool.
Just let her know that,
I'm sure that show is amazing.
It's supposed to be incredible. The reviews are incredible.
I'm sure.
It is the hottest ticket on Broadway. It's kind of Hamilton level of...
I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's... If anyone doesn't know, this is Sonia Taya's first Broadway show that she's choreographing.
First of many, probably.
First of many.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing, too, with her is that I saw her when she was doing Rent Live, which wound up not being live, but she did choreograph that. And she said, it's an intimidating project, but the goal was always to make it to Broadway. It's been my dream to choreograph a show.
And now look.
And now it's the right project, the right person. Her choreography is so special.
It really is. And that's why I always say that one was my favorite, just because we went on stage and we were sure about every single step. Like, sometimes you're like, not that you're unsure about it, but you're like maybe second guessing it or just like, I'll just do this. I don't know what they did exactly. But with her, I was sure about every single step, and you need that confidence to be able to perform well, I believe. So that's why that was like one of my favorite routines ever, and just her passion that she has when she's teaching and everything will be something that I will remember forever.
Yeah, there's something about Sonia, and she's... I always think that she's like larger than life, and then you see her in person, I'm like, you're pretty tiny.
Yeah, she is. But mighty,
But mighty and strong, and there's a very specific language with her choreography.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dance it, obviously, but I understand it as a viewer.
It's just so sure. Everything is like very sure, I'm like, okay, this is what it is. Great. I'll do exactly that.
Well, maybe, supposedly, I've heard the rumors that she's trying to return at least for a week this season.
Really?
So if you are an all-star,
maybe
we should put this all together.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
And then you can be like, by the way, I'd like to do Broadway.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to slide in your DMs.
Yeah.
I'd totally be like, how's the show?
Yeah.
Is there a part for someone like me?
Do you need anyone?
Are you having replacement calls?
Yeah.
Because I will totally come.
Exactly.
And audition for that.
Yes.
That would be incredible.
Yes, it would.
And we're going to make this all happen, I think. I love it. Well, Jasmine, this has been an absolute pleasure. This is like one of my personal dreams to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I feel like, check.
Yes.
It's off my bucket list. However, as I said, you and Aaron are one point.
Yes.
One day.
We will. We'll make it happen.
I know. He's got a show in Vegas right now, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, whenever he's out here, we can just plan it out. Or maybe we can set a date and then he can come out here.
Yes. We're going to we'll do like a 3-way text or something, and I'll be like, Aaron, tell us when you have a Tuesday off, because I know he usually cool. Performs on Tuesday.
Me, Aaron, Fiction, Amy, season
top
10,
four.
top 4.
Amy is on tour with Wicked, so
that's what I'm talking about. Everyone from season 10 is just
killing the game.
Season 10
doesn't matter 1 through 20. Everyone
Every
is
single person
working.
Yeah, so. I'm very proud of my season.
I know. I'm proud of your season too. I always say 4, 10, and 14 are my favorite seasons.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
14 was pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing cast too. I think they're all working as well. So you guys did a good job.
Yeah.
All right, Jasmine, come back anytime.
Okay.
Everyone,
sure will. Thank you so much.
Keep your eyes out for Beyonce's new video coming.
Yeah.
And we'll keep your eyes on your career, choreography, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. And if anyone is not already following you on social media, where can they find you?
Yes. My social media handles are Dance10 Jasmine H.
Repping Dance10.
Yes, forever. But yeah, you can find me on there, Twitter, Instagram.
I love it.
Yeah.
We want to thank, of course, Dance Network and Popcorn Talk for hosting us today. For all your dance news, check out dancenetwork.tv. We will be back next week. This is going to be kind of a continuation of So You Think You Can Dance. We do have another guest, but maybe a smaller guest, not a taller guest.
Who's it gonna be? Fiction?
Maybe someone a little younger.
Aww.
Oh, who could it be? Find out next week. We'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.